Hello everyone, SuperBricks37 here, and in today's special video, we're going to be taking the LEGO Classic 11005, which is the Creative Fun Pack, and we're actually going to be turning that into a mock for our LEGO City. But before we get started, make sure you guys hit like on the video, and subscribe down below for more awesome LEGO content coming in the future. So now let's get started. So the whole premise of this video is basically to take this set and turn it into a building for the LEGO City, since we do have some empty space right now. And if you don't know, these LEGO Classic boxes, they just come with a whole bunch of random pieces, not really meant to build much of anything. You can see a few little odds and ends down at the bottom that you can build out of the pieces, but for the most part, it's just random pieces. And there's a look at all the pieces on the side if you wanted to pause it just to see what we're working with. But we're going to be taking this set and turning it into a 16 by 16 building. I'm not sure how many floors it's going to be yet, but it definitely is going to be 16 by 16. And I'm only going to use parts that are included in this set, as well as this 16 by 16 plate, just to use the floor. So yeah, now let's open up the pack and see what we got inside. So let's cut right into it. Alright, now with the set all opened up, we can take a look at what we got inside. Looks like the pieces are divided up by color, which is how most of these classic sets come. So now, take a look at everything we got. Looks like we do have an 8 by 16 plate, which will be useful, as well as just a bunch of random pieces. Got all our black pieces, black, gray, and clear pieces, it looks like. And we got all our blues, our yellows and oranges, greens, whites and light grays, browns, and then our reds, and then our pinks and purples. So these are all the pieces that we have to work with, as well as a little instruction manual that just shows you how to do some of the builds. See, here's all the builds it shows you how to do, which I think are kind of cool. So now let's get into building. Okay, so my idea that I've come up with for this build to use these pieces out of is actually going to be some kind of villain layer. So I'll be able to use a lot of the different colors as like graffiti work, or just different splotches of different colors that make it look a little bit more run down. And with this brown bag specifically, you can see there's a lot of textured and detailed bricks. That'll give me a lot more options when it comes to, like I said, using the pieces to make the building, and making it look run down would kind of fit in with the theme a little bit. So it's going to be a very small building, just 16 by 16. I'm thinking it'll probably only be 2 stories tall, whereas I can use this as the base floor, and then this as the roof, and then have a balcony or something overhanging it. But yeah, that's where I'm thinking right now. So let's get into the build and see what I end up with. Alright, so I've got a little bit of work done on it. And seeing by how many pieces I've used and how much I've got left in specific colors, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a full building out of this set. But I actually got an idea to maybe do like maybe a farmer's market or something like that. Alright, so now we're a little bit farther into the build. You can see I did do some detailing work on the front. So I think from the front, building looks pretty good right now. I might have to rough it up a little bit since I am going for like a Crook hideout type of look. But from the side, you definitely get that. This lime green plate, I don't like the color of it, but it's what was included in the set, so it's what I'm going to have to use. And I just used kind of just random parts on the side. And on the back, we've got our big graffiti wall, which is just all the random colors, the oranges, blues, reds, greens, that really wouldn't be useful anywhere else. Then on this side we have the same thing, except we have a window here as well. Still need to put the panes inside of that. Then I've got the roof line kind of started here. I did run out of these slope pieces, so this is far up as I can go with that. But what I can do is connect the plates together, maybe just have it flatten off right there, which will probably be what I do. And also you might see there's some gaps between the plate and the bricks. That's because I actually made it to where it's removable. It did just fall apart a little bit because of the piece limitations that I do have. But I do need to work on that a little bit. But yeah, the entire roof is removable, so we have access to the inside, where I might do a few details if I have some pieces left. We'll just have to see. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now. So now we're gonna do some more work and then we'll check back in. So quite a bit has changed on the model since you last saw it. Mainly it's pretty much completely taken apart because I decided I didn't really like the randomness of the wall colors. So I do like the front of the wall, and I'm gonna put back these brown and white pieces over here whenever I redo the wall. So I do like this part, but on the sides and on the back, I decided I'm gonna change it and make it more pattern-like instead of just kind of randomized. So I'm gonna see what I can do with that. Alright, so we got a little bit more progress done now, and I think I'm a lot happier with the way I've got it set up now, with being a little bit more patterned and not as randomized. But I've still got to use a bunch of different colors. Like you can see on the back, I used a lot of the green pieces, some of the gray, the blue, the yellow, and some of these round bricks just to give it a little bit of texture. But I'm going to try to make it perfectly symmetrical, so you can see on this side, same on this side all the way around the window. But yeah, now, and I'm also planning on doing an interior of this build as well. So I made it to where this back wall can come off, at least mostly, so that we have access to the inside if I don't set it up with the roof coming off. So yeah, now let's do a little bit more work and we'll see where we're at. Alright, so now we got the first floor completely done besides the inside. And yeah, I'm really happy about how this looks. I added in a couple of these slope pieces just to kind of make it look like a piece of the wall is chipped away over time. The back wall didn't really change all that much. And same thing on this side, just symmetrical with the other side. And on the top, I actually had enough tiles to where I can make a removable roof for this building. So the back wall doesn't actually have to come out after all to get to the inside, which I think is pretty awesome. So now let's get started on the second floor. Alright, so here's just another update on the exterior. I've pretty much got the outside of the second floor done. I used a lot of the yellows and oranges and reds and a little bit of blue right there on the top to make those walls. And I decided to give it a little balcony up front for two reasons. One, just to give it some more depth, and two, because I was starting to run out of wall builder pieces, so I thought that'd be a good way to just save on pieces as well. And I also added these two little things down here on the front floor, just a little bit more depth down there, and I think they look pretty cool. So yeah, now we're going to work on the interior, and then as well as a couple other exterior details, and then we'll get back to you. Alright, so it looks like I got it all done. I also decided to build this little car here, just out of some extra pieces, just thought it'd go along with it, just a nice little Crook car. Got Ulysses Claw driving it right now. It's just figure I grabbed to use as a size model. But here's a look at the build, and we'll take a more detailed look at it as soon as I get all this mess cleaned up, because I've got a lot of pieces left. So yeah, let's get this cleaned up and then we'll take a detailed review, or detailed look rather, of this model. Alright, so here's a good look at the finished model, and I didn't end up using all the pieces. You see, still got this big bag of pieces left, as well as two of these little bags that I didn't even open. So I still got a whole bunch of pieces left, so I didn't use all 900 of them, but I'd say I probably used a good 600 to 700 pieces between both the big building model, which was the main model I was going for, as well as the little car that I decided to make. So now let's dive in and take a closer look. I think we'll just go ahead and start with that little car. It's not the best model at all. It's just something I kind of threw together at the last minute because I was kind of bored. I do kind of like what I did on the back here, using those hinge pieces connected that way to make almost like a spoiler, but also like a bed kind of, because I think I was kind of going for like a truck type of vehicle with like some side bumpers or something on the side, then just a little steering stick since the set didn't come with a steering wheel. And yeah, I think it's a pretty alright car build. It's nothing special, but it's just something to use the pieces on. Now we'll get into the full building. And on the front, I didn't really change much on the front once I did it the first time, besides I did move it up a stud, as well as I kind of changed these little front pieces here a little bit. But I came up with this design using these big white quarter round brick pieces, which I think are really cool. And I surrounded them using these other little slopes in the middle, as well as just one gray one just to kind of act as a centerpiece. Then I used some more slopes down here at the bottom to kind of jut it out a little bit more, to give it just a little bit more depth. And then these column pieces here as well, adding more depth to the build. Then we've got the door that does, in fact, open. You can see some people in there. We'll get into the interior in just a minute. And then up front, I've just kind of got this little balcony build type of thing here, just using some snot build techniques, as well as something that might be a camera or a cannon or just something, since this is a villain hideout building. That's just kind of something jutting out, or it could just be a flagpole too. And then I also added these white bars here just for some more detailing. And then this little thing up top just kind of to put as the centerpiece of the top area. Like I have the door and this little gray piece as the centerpiece to the bottom. Got this top piece as the centerpiece for the top, which I think works really well. And then I've got some curved elements along the side of the balcony, just again helping shape it a little bit better. And then we have the top floor. So now we'll take a dive into looking at that. So you can see I've got some minifigures standing out front. And I think what I'm going to do is use this as the hideout for the gang that you've kind of been seeing roaming around in my city updates, causing mischief. So this is going to be their hideout. And you can see I used the slope pieces for the roof, and then just whatever pieces I had left to kind of flatten that out. But you also see there is a table in there, but that's it. There's nothing else in there. So it's no easy way for me to really get to that part of the build. So now we'll spin it around. You can see on the side is just kind of a big mashup of colors, because this set doesn't really have the best pieces when it comes to building a build like this, so I just kind of blended whatever I could together. And I think it looks alright from the side. I think it does look better from the back though, because I was able to use all those green pieces and gray pieces and just make it very symmetrical on the back. And then this side is actually the same as this side. They're just perfectly symmetrical, so there's that. So now we'll actually get to where we can take the roof off, since it does come with some tiles as well as some jumper pieces that I used along the edge there. Then we can take a look at the inside. And inside right now I've got 3 crooks, as well as Ulysses' claw, as well as just a whole bunch of different stuff just kind of thrown around. A little work table, just some piping or something going along the back, and a big table in the center. So I think it's a pretty good build overall. Like I said, the pieces in this set weren't the best, so it's not the best set to do for making a city building like this. But if you'd like to see me do this again with maybe another classic set, or maybe another Creator 3-in-1, or just any set really, just let me know down in the comments. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Oh, wait, one more thing. Let's actually go ahead and go put this in the city. Alright, so here's the city as it is right now. And it's actually a pretty big mess on the other side of the city, so I think we're just going to keep it showing this side for now. And what I think I might actually do is take the museum out of right there and actually put the Crook Hideout right over there. Or I might leave the museum there and put the Crook Hideout over here where the grocery store is. But I'm not 100% sure yet, so I'm just going to kind of try it out and see where I'd like to put it. Alright, so I did actually decide to put it where the museum was. And I do think it's a little weird that the bad guy's base is right next to the police station and right across the street from Avengers Tower. But with a city this small, it's kind of hard to space stuff out like that. But maybe I just had an idea. What if we move the pizzeria and put it there instead? Actually, let me try that and see how that works. Alright, so here's where I decided to put the building. I did move the pizzeria over there, and then move the grocery store right here beside Avengers Tower, and decided to keep the Crook Hideout here right next to Sanctum Sanctorum. And I'm not too thrilled about being able to see that ugly side bit, but I think it'll have to do for now until we get some more buildings or maybe even some more space, which is a plan that I'm thinking on right now. But for right now, this is where it's going to sit. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the build. And let me know if you'd like to see more remocs of sets like that. And make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all later. SuperBricks37 signing off.